Hello and welcome to part two of our potted plant sign cookie from our spring series. How is everyone doing tonight? If you are here with us this evening, drop a, whoops, look at that. I almost crushed the flower centers. If you're here, well, you weren't waiting that long, Allison. The video's only been live for 1 minute and 58 seconds. It's much less time than the 5-minute countdown timer. Hello. Cake Pop Land is in the house. Hi, Sally. How are you? Okay, so I've been doing a pretty good job of monitoring myself today, guys. I have not been in my cookie decorating chair too long. I've been jumping up and down all day long. So I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I did want to tell you really quickly that this is Amy from Seriously Sweet and Cookie Snack Attack. If you are in the Unplugged Cookie Retreat group, please go there and watch the Zoom video that was uploaded tonight with our food discussion for the retreat. I need some answers back as soon as possible. If you have t-shirts set up for the retreat, Cindy's taking care of collecting payment for those. If you could take care of that, that is in a separate post. So that's it for Unplugged people. We're good to go. And then I'll be putting more information in your private group as we go along. If you were in the Fabulous Florals group, you were given an opportunity to purchase your Pirate Products Kit box this afternoon. So we gave everybody a certain amount of time in that group. I messaged everyone that hadn't gotten one just to make sure. There are 2 boxes. Some people had some medical procedures, so there's 2 boxes I'm holding for them. Everything else that's available was dropped into the website a little bit ago. It's Seriously Sweet Cupcakes.com. It says enter here to order, find the Pirate Product Kit box and read the description there. It's all of the things you see here in the picture. There's a limited amount left, but there are a few so that they can all ship together on Thursday or Friday of this week. Okay, let's get that off. Then off the screen, I want to say hello to a few people. Also, for the website for that is Seriously Sweet Cupcakes with an S on the end.com. And that'll take you right to where you can order if you want to get in on one of the Pirate Product Kit boxes. This is a separate kit this month. No class included. Classes will be posted next week. We're going to have 2 different pirate classes, a very, very beginner level pirate class, and then we're going to have an intermediate advanced level that goes along with the box, but we're going to use the same cutters that are in that box. Okay. All right. So for tonight, let's jump right in because I probably have a 30 to 40 minute window of where I can sit here pain free. So that's what we're going to try to stick to tonight. So earlier today, I showed you the cookie that we were going to be decorating. And in the first video this morning, I showed you where to sketch it and how to sketch it so it's slightly rounded, so it looks rounded like an actual terracotta pot. And if you wanted to decorate with me tonight to have this pre-flooded, because we're going to texture this, then create our post, then create our sign. And then I told you tonight that I'm going to create a floral sign. So I'm not actually doing any lettering on my sign, and I'm going to do my sign with wood grain using thick icing, which we talked about this morning. So for colors, we used terracotta. This was by AmeriColor. And then I just used 2 shades of any brown to create my wood. My wooden boards for my sign. So we're going to be using that. You're going to need a scribe of some sort. And then this morning, I showed you this cool new product. I think a couple people, based on messages I got, missed what's special about this product. So let me show you this again. This is actually a stamp that embosses. So it clips out the piece just like our other craft stamps that we use with our wafer paper bits. So it cuts it out, but it also embosses it. So you get this cool extra little bit of detail. Let me see if it shows up good on this blue one. You get this extra little bit of detail where it's embossed around the center. Do you guys see that? So it embosses and clips out the little pieces. And I told you this, it was a little bit pricier than normal stamps, and that's because it's an embosser too. But it's a good workaround for when we're doing floral things and you don't want to buy a bunch of separate little stamps, or you don't want to buy embossing folders, things like that, you know? So just found a new product, wanted to show it to you. It's on Amazon. There were about 5 or 6 different ones. The ones that I was attracted to, because I know I'd use them a lot, so I didn't mind making the investment in them, was this cool 5-petal flower, because you can layer it, you can make clusters, you can make vines, which is what we're going to do tonight. And then there is a rose head on a stem, and the embossing on it just looks absolutely gorgeous. So you could also do some hand painting. One of the other things we discussed this morning was that I used regular wafer paper, and then I used the double density wafer paper. So we talked about that. You can see these are both dry dusted with the same Aurora Rose Elite color from the Sugar Art, but you can see how one looks darker and one looks more translucent there. So that's a little bit of the difference on the papers. You can see more about that this morning. Also this morning, we already did the experiment for using Paper Potion to condition the paper in case we wanted to curve these petals up and things like that. It would make it a little easier to work with there. And then you ask, after I mentioned it this morning, about the Flex Frost sheet. So I did the Flex Frost sheet because what I was concerned about was, would it actually emboss it? The answer is yes, it does. This is with it being peeled off the plastic backer that it comes on. You can't do it on the plastic backer. The plastic's too thick and it won't punch or emboss. However, let me say this. I won't be doing Flex Frost for a project like this using this type of embosser because they're just too flimsy. For what I wanted to accomplish with this is not going to work great. However, having said that, I think something like this would be great if you wanted to use that particular punch to create things like this for insects or for ruffles on dresses. Then I think, yep, this is the way to go. But for me, when I punched these little bits out, by the time I hit the third one, 2 things were a problem. The inside of this was getting sticky so that I couldn't punch the third one out well. And it came out eventually. I had to really spend some time getting it out of there. So then I tried a 4th one, and the 4th one jammed up in here and I really had to scrape it out. So if you're going to use Flex Frost sheets, they have to be peeled away from the plastic backing. I'd let them set out so they're a little crusty. And then I would maybe only do 3 Flex Frost punches and then run wafer paper through it to make sure that you don't ruin this $20 embossing stamp. Okay. So I left these plain white ones. Then I believe I mentioned I was just going to make some flower centers. I decided to do them in white. So this is just regular 18 to 20 second flood icing. And then I coated it in some sanding sugar and let those set up. Once we get our sign ready to go, we're going to put our flower pieces where we want them. Then we're going to drop a little icing and put our centers in. We're also going to pipe a little bit of vinery on here. So I have some basic leaf green. Again, I believe it's an AmeriColor leaf green that I'm using. And I'm just going to cut my tipless bag with a really small tip, like a 1, equivalent to a 1 or 2 if I was using a piping tip. We're done with, the terracotta. Let's go ahead and do that really quick. I want to put a little bit of texture on my pot. If you don't want to do this next step, you certainly would not have to. And let's take a second and say hello to a few people really quickly, and then we'll jump back into the decorating, okay? And again, excuse me for warp speed tonight. I just know I'm on a limited window for how long I can be in this chair before I cause myself a lot of pain tonight and tomorrow. All right. So hi, Sally. How are you? Hello, Miss Barbie. I am so excited about the Pirate Box too, and both of the pirate classes. Really cute. So we'll have those classes posted for you to purchase next week. Hello, Maria. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Ah, yes. Looking good. Hey, Julie. How are you tonight? Sally's good to see you again. Hello, Kat. Hi, Sabra. How are you doing? You guys, if anybody is interested in purchasing a pirate kit, the ones that are left were released into the website for the Cookie Snack Attack group. So anybody that's on right now, I flashed a picture a minute ago of all the contents, but you can go to the website, which is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, seriously, sweetcupcakes.com, and go right into that pirate kit and grab the last couple. That way it can still get shipped out this Thursday and Friday with all the other boxes. All right, let's get back in here. And let me say hi to a few other people. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Marty. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Fran. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Debbie. Hey, Cindy. I hope everybody is doing well this evening. All right, so I pulled up a paper towel here. This is how I like to do this stippling and texturing technique. You don't have to do it this way. I just like a clean work area when I'm done. So usually what I do is I just squirt some of the color that I'm going to use, and it's the same color I used to flood with. I just have a stiff brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the color. You can do this on a paint palette. And I'm just going 90 degrees. So it's straight down. It's perpendicular to the cookie. I don't want to put so much on that I fill in that gap where I intentionally flooded these separately so I would get good sections. I don't want to fill that in, but I just like a little texture on these pots that makes it look more like it would actually look if it was a flower pot out in your yard. Just adds a little visual interest to your item. All right, and I also mentioned this morning because in our spring series, we've been using that cool potting soil or edible moss on a lot of our cookies so that they'll tie together well when you photograph your final set at the end of this series. So I looked for that, but it appears that I have used all of my edible moss and potting soil. So I'm not adding any to mine tonight, but if you did want to add some right now while you have this texture that's still wet, you could just hand sprinkle a little bit of potting soil in the top of the pot there, or a little bit of edible moss along one of these edges. Okay. Hello. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for joining us tonight. I had a very restful birthday. We had something really fun planned to do, but I just was not feeling up to it. So I was taking my herbal muscle relaxers and I stayed on the couch or the floor most of the day because I have a big week this week and I wanted to conserve some energy. So as soon as I'm feeling a lot better, we're going to revisit those birthday plans. And when we do that, you guys will get to see some videos. So hopefully that will be coming up soon. All right, let's go ahead and get this part of our sign started. If you took the advanced, No, if you took the regular Easter class, then you have a template that is sized that will work. Again, I'm just off to the side cutting these tipless piping bags straight across at about what would be equivalent to a 2-point Wilton round tip. Oh, what was I telling you? Hold on. Let me think for a second. What was I telling you? I can't remember. If one of you remembers what I was saying before I switched over to 2-point round. Oh, the birthday. If when I go back, when I'm able, we'll go do what we had planned to do for my birthday this year, and then I'll put videos up and you'll understand why I really wanted to do it. You'll see. All right. Involves one of my favorite places on the planet. All right. Oh, Easter class. Yes. So if you took the regular Easter class, there's a template in there that you can use to make sign placards. You don't need it to do this, but if you took that class, that will work on here. You just need to shorten them a little. I'm not teaching this cookie from that perspective tonight because I actually want to create this cool flower because I wanted to use this punch. Now I'm just creating 3 lines to set my post. I think based on looking at the camera, I really want a 4th line. This is 30-second icing. It's like a piping consistency, if not thicker. Then I have my lighter color brown, and I'm just going to come in between on top of all those lines. And I'm going to come in between where I've got nice grooves and put down the light color. It's on top of the dark, but it's in the offset areas. And I'm going to let it sit for a second. If I had you know what? I bet I do. Hold on. I was going to say if I cleaned my airbrush gun and it's still charged up. Yep. So I'm just going to blow a little bit of air just because we're on video. Normally I'd let this just sit here because it just needs a minute or two. I just go to the next cookie and come back. But I'm just blowing some air on there to get it just slightly crusty. Don't do that if you haven't already checked your airbrush to make sure there's no color in there. Then what I'm going to do is use my scribe, and I just want to pull through these colors. I want a rough wood post. So I needed that little bit of crusting because I don't want the icing to just blur together. Let me zoom in a little. Would that help you guys if I zoomed in? Let's come in a little bit so you can really see. I think this new camera is really good for showing you when I'm trying to actually sculpt in royal icing. I think it shows up much better. So if I forget to use it and you need to see something closer, you guys just ask me in the comments. So you can see what I did by layering that. I actually created a rounded post. So I've got some dimension. So it looks like a rounded post down in my pot. I'm going to add a little bit more on top of that and then just blend that into what's there. It's really rough, like a hand planed log would be, or if you were, I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, but they make tools where you take the bark off small trees to make fence posts. We're talking really old timey type things to get this look, but I like this sort of look. And we have a lot of really old fences in Virginia done the old school way. So it's fun to try to duplicate those things. All right, let's turn this. Now, on this one, I started with the dark color. I ran a light color, and then I did some more dark on top. I want to contrast that on the top. I want it to be a little bit lighter wood. So for my sign, my boards that would be my sign, I'm going to work with my light colors. And let me show you something that I'm going to do on this. I'm going to try to just, it's going to be too thin. Hold on, let me grab this other one. I'm going to sketch on here for you. I'm going to try to leave a gap in between my signs here so that it looks like more warped lumber. So I'm just sketching to remind myself not to fully fill that in. Even though we're going to sculpt it a little bit, it's going to look a little more natural if I remember to leave those open naked areas on the cookie, okay? And I'm going to put my light color as my first color. Then after I get the two colors blended and get the edging in the middle done, then we're going to go back. We'll go back and we will start adding our flowers and then adding the center, okay? Hey, Paula, how are you doing tonight? All right, so let's get on with this. This is really good and thick. If you want to take the time to go slowly and really put a lot of pressure on your bag and build it up this way, let's zoom in. You guys probably have never seen that up close because my camera's not been this detailed, but you see the difference in really putting a lot of pressure and moving slower across the cookie. If you're going to be sculpting and if you're using that thicker icing, you can just really already get some good texture in there for this to start setting up. Now we're going to go on to, I just really don't want to put my hand in this. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to flip it all the way around. And I'm going to do light as my base layer on the top and bottom. It's really thick icing, so I'm sorry the bag's in the camera a little bit tonight, but I have to hold it that way to get it out. And I'm just making sure I come up and cover those marker areas and go to the edges, okay? Hey, Mary Jean, how you doing? Now for the middle one, I'm going to alternate my color and I'm going to do the dark on the bottom. It's going to give me a little more visual interest as this cookie comes together. If you really wanted to snazz up this cookie, you would let this completely dry and then do a little bit of airbrushing. Hey, Kelly, how are you tonight? You do a little brown airbrushing around the end to dull down the cookie, the brightness of the blonde cookie, but we don't really need to do that. And I just wanted you to see I'm adding a second color, just one line of a second color, opposite of whatever is on the base color. And then we're going to start playing with our wood sign here. All right, let's get this flipped around. I'm going to zoom that in a little because I really want you to see what we're working on. But I'm going to pull this off the paper towel because I don't want to risk knocking all those pretty flowers that I already dry dusted. And you guys remind me when I get to it. Oh, you're working on your floral class. Cool. Remind me when I get to it to tell you what colors I used for the dry dusting, just in case you like it. You see what I'm doing here? I'm just lightly mixing my two colors because, again, I want a rough sign. There's so many ways to do wood grain. If I was doing an order and I had to do 4 dozen or 5 dozen or 12 dozen or something, this is not how I would do this cookie because it takes too much time. This is a great like display cookie or birthday topper cookie, if you're making specialty wedding favors and you want to put specific cookies like this at each place setting and maybe put their name on it on the sign. Can you see how thick my icing is that I'm actually able to go in there and create a knot hole? So if I was doing this for a cookie for profit or a cookie for volume order, then I would have flat iced this whole cookie in a light shade of brown, the whole sign area. And I would have come back with an airbrush and used a wood grain stencil and created my wood grain. And then I would have made a stencil to just swipe whatever I wanted the words to say. That's how I would have handled it if I needed to go fast. Now I'm creating something because you know that I love to show you guys how to do texture and how to create different things for dry dusting. Hey, Jeannie, how are you tonight? So I'm going to come in from the end and I'm going all the way to the bottom of the cookie in the areas where I want a separation because I want that deep groove. I want it to look like we took a palette apart, a wood palette. I want it to look like we took a palette apart and then made our sign. I'm not so concerned about the middle area here. From here to here, I'm not as concerned about that because, and you can see how deep the grooves are, because the flowers are going to start up here, come across and go down that post. So really, I just need to make sure I get some good knot holes so that tomorrow I can use a little Turkish black and I can dry dust these knot holes. That's going to give us a little more interest. So I'm just opening that up and you can see how thick my icing must be to allow me to make these knot holes, right? You guys, if your icing is like sinking back on itself, it's really not thick enough to use for a sculpting icing. Now I see that I need just a little more light brown up in this area though. So let's do that. Let's just get a little bit. And also this one, you guys, you know how I normally point out to you and I say, you know, don't use a black pen if you're sketching because it may not get covered up. It doesn't matter on this particular cookie because this particular cookie is going to get dry dusted with some Turkish black. So it doesn't matter on this one if the black marker shows because it's going to get covered up tomorrow when I add a little bit more dusting to it once this is fully dry. All right. And I'll just be real careful and I'll be dry dusting around the edges. But you can see already, right? You can see the differences by doing these cuts at the end of the board. And then I'm going to come in here and take a little bit out like it's cracked. Okay. Let me lift that so you can see it. I'm just using my thingamajiggy right here and grabbing some and pulling it off so that you can see. You see how it makes grooves? I just want to make some more places that when I do the dry dusting. Hey, Kim, how are you tonight? When you do the dry dusting, that's going to add even more interest to that particular part of that cookie, right? If you're doing this level of detail on a cookie, people are going to be inspecting it. They're going to be looking for how you did everything. So that's when those sort of things matter. Now, if I can do this right, I left this bottom one to really crust up. I'm going to try to put holes on the end using a fondant tool so you can see how to model the end of a log. All right, let's get over here a little bit. Let's go back this direction. So we've got this really rough wood sign. If you did this in two-tone gray, it'd be great for a beach sign. All right, I've got my colors blended. Let's pull a little bit more apart between each of these layers. All right, don't forget the pirate kits went up for sale for the regular Cookie Snack Attack group just a little bit ago. The description's on the website. The website is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. There's not a whole bunch of them left. There's only a few. Now, if you're one of the two people that had medical issues and I'm holding a box for you, we'll take care of yours tomorrow. So don't worry, I didn't sell your box. But if you didn't have a medical issue, I'm not holding something for you. So grab your box. So do you see how nice it looks once it starts to crust up, how it makes it even rougher between the boards? You can get that real hand-hewn look on these things. All right, I think I want to put one knot in the bottom. That's going to look awesome when we fill it in with the black, with the Turkish black. And then I want to make sure I try to remember to not put my flowers in that area. All right, so let's go over the dry dusting I did for tonight. after I used my embossing stamper that was combined as one tool. So I used Aurora Rose Elite Color from the Sugar Art. My goodness, look how clear that label is. That is so nice. All right, nice. And then we've got Elite Color Dogwood, also from the Sugar Art. I love this one. This is great for springtime dry dusting. And then we just recently experimented with denim in our florals class for dry dusting. So I used denim tonight because I knew you guys would already have that. And then I want to show you one other. You all right, babe? I want to show you one other product. I believe I ordered these from Bees Baked Art. If you don't have any of this, you really should order it. It's really pretty. It's called Cake Shimmer. This one is cotton candy. This one is pink. And look at the colors. Isn't that beautiful? So I did a few of these with that as well. All right, let me put those back where they go so that everything is nice and clean when we finish tonight, because I won't have a lot more time before I have to actually go put my neck brace thing on. So let's just make sure everything is cleaning up as we go. Okay, so earlier today, I did those colors and made these assorted flowers from the flowers I showed you guys. I don't think I'm going to use the Flex Frost. I know, enabler alert. Sorry, Kelly, but I really like those. I do. I really like them. So here's our sign. Here's our pile of flowers. So I've mixed that a little dogwood, a little denim blue, a little of the Aurora Rose, and then I did a little bit of the shimmer on top of the other colors. And look at the difference in the colors here. Let me zoom in. You just don't know how much fun I'm having with this Zoom. So look at the shimmer and shine on this one versus the matte finish on this one. They're both done in Aurora Rose, but then I went back and dusted this one with the pink from the Cake Shimmer. Love it. All right. Enabler alert. Yes. And then this is just ivory icing with white sugar. Nothing fancy, guys. This is the finest sanding sugar I've found. It's Walmart. It's got mica in it, so it's already shimmery. So it saves me when I use this particular one. It saves me using diamond dust because it's already got mica in it. So it's already super sparkly. It's not just regular white sugar. And normally they have silver, a dark gold, and white all the time in the shimmery colors. So let's see if these are dry enough that, oh yeah, these are perfect. We're going to be able to use them for our flower centers. Let's just get them prepped so we can move quickly between each thing as we go from item to item. You need to come lay down. Come lay down over here. Come on. Okay, come lay down. I'm not done. Nope, I'm not done. You have to wait for me. All right. The natives are getting restless down here, my little pups. They're like, come on, we've been in here a lot today. All right, so what I'm going to do is just start placing my flowers where I want them, since this is starting to crust up. And I already rolled these with a fondant ball tool earlier. Let me show you what I mean by that. If I can find it. Yep, here we go. So this is just a fondant tool, small ball on one end, large ball on this end. This is one of the treated ones, so it wouldn't crack. And I just gently rolled it. And what that does is it makes the leaves kind of lift. So I'm just going to start with that, put it down into this fresh royal icing because I'm going to create a vine. All right. Here's a blue one. Let me just give it a little twirl. Oh, look, I broke that one. Okay, let me show you how to fix that. Go up and under the pink. That was not a treated one with Paper Potion. That was double density untreated. So let's pull our pink back a little. Let's get our blue set up next to that. That's our denim blue. We'll pick this up and push it over so it's touching, and that way you won't know it's broken by the time we put the center in. And that gives us a chance to position our leaves. This little embossed flower could easily be used to make hydrangeas. For instance, this I did in pink and blue. Watch this. You could just start making additional clusters and blend your colors by putting your pieces in together. You could hand place them in. And again, yes, that makes this more time consuming, more expensive. It's more of a decorative piece. For display or one of your fancy cookies in your set. And I'm just expanding how large my flower looks by adding these petals. I'm going to go back with just a little bit of ivory. Honey, can you please just sit down for a little bit, please? Let mommy finish and then I'll come play, okay? It makes me nervous. She's the one with a heart condition. I don't like for her to get too rung up. It helps her when I talk to her. Got to take care of the kids. All right, so we're going to drop that center in. Look how pretty. Look how pretty just making that little center is. And so the ivory color that I used to make these flower centers is the same ivory I used to then put it in the, to attach it to the center to make my flower center with it. All right, I'm going to add a few more of these petals in. Then I'm going to show you how to pipe some leaves and vine, and then you guys can start working on your flower signs. Let's do a little bit of this taupe flower in here as well. I think that'll look pretty and add a little more interest to this. It gets us where all of our colors that I used start to combine, and I like how that looks. And basically by tearing these petals off, we're just using the same size stamp to make it look like it's layered cutouts of these colors, right? Of these particular plants. So it makes it look larger than it actually is. So you can do single petals at a time. You can go back and add double, but you can see I'm mixing up so they're offset. And that is how I am making my bigger flower for the center area here. Okay, you guys hold on just 1 second, okay? Hold on 1 sec. Hold on. Please, she has to, and I'm live. Please. And I'm live and it's recording right now. If you could, Anna, please. Anna, Dad's coming. He'll take care of you. Just hold on just a second, okay? All right, guys, so let's jump back in here so you can see this is like how you would do paper crafting for a card, only this is edible wafer paper that's been treated with paper potion. All right, I want to drop another flower head in here, though. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I just knocked a little bit of the sugar off there. Let's put a little bit more ivory in here. We'll put a little bit of ivory in here from the side, so it looks like we have another flower over here. And again, I'm using the same undercolor as the flower centers I made. I'm just going to slide that one right in there. There we go. Oh, looking good. All right, now let's take our green and let's make a vine, and then we're going to add another plant down here. And then we'll go back and I'm going to show you how to cut this so that you can add leaves. I'll show you how to cut your tipless piping bag. And we just want to make this look like it would look like if you had morning glories going up and down this, right? If you had little vinery on a wedding set or something. And I'm being careful up here because I don't want to put too much of the green near where I'm going to darken those little knot holes we made. And look, because my icing is stiff enough, I think I should zoom in for this part. I think you guys would really like this because this is how I do my curls when I do pumpkins. So do you see how that's actually curled? Let me show you here. I go in at the angle, I get my green underneath my floral, and then I just make loops and let it curl and go both directions and make loops. And this is how I do my curly cues on pumpkins and also how I do my curly cues for my fall cakes and things. So just a little bit of vinery going on there, okay? Hey, Nimrose, I'm glad you made it. All right, so let's come down here and put just a little bit of curly cue, like the little trails, just for a little bit of interest. All right, and then we're going to add another plant down here. Let's go ahead and put a pink in. And again, I'm just using my little fondant tool to press that center in. I'll add a little bit of ivory and add my floral center. Let's drop this in. All right, and I think looking at it on camera, I think I want to add another floral center right there. So I'm going to put a little bit more ivory icing in here. And by the way, this flood consistency icing, I like it because it's actually going to end up becoming a glue or an adhesive for all of these things to not move. So if you ever get concerned about working in a thick icing and you think it's drying too fast and you're just not seeing what you really want to see as far as attachment, and you're afraid things are going to pop off the cookie, I really like working with the flood consistency to attach things. Now, let me see if I can zoom in right here, let you guys really see what we've just done. Right now, do you see where the brown is showing through those petals? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and just pop in some petals to hide that area, because everything that you just saw on the camera, that is going to show up in a photograph. So you always want to go close and then just break off pieces, and then you're going to go back in and just fill in those areas if you're trying to make it look like one big flower, right? This is where you would take a little time and position petals and do things like that, okay? But this is such a fun sign. It's so versatile. It's going to be great for Mother's Day. It's going to be, if you want to do Happy Mother's Day on it, or I Love You Mom, or something like that. I think it's going to be really fun for that. Or if you want to personalize it and put your mother's name on it, it would work great for that as well. All right, let's zoom in again. Let's take a good look. I think I have a little bit still showing up in the top. I'm going to add a little bit right up in here. And then I think we will be good to go. Let's try to add 2 petals so we have a continuous connection right there. It's so hard for me to see because I'm looking at it from the side based on where I'm seated. But then when I look up at my computer screen, I'm seeing the bird's eye view. So whenever that happens, I always try to take advantage of that so I can space my petals out. All right. All right. I need one more petal. I see one more place I'm not in love with. Right in here. There's just too much dark showing through for me. So let's do that. I just love these clusters of flowers though. I hope you guys enjoy unusual things like this when we're making fun projects for spring and things that will be completely edible. These are just fun projects to do, I think. Now the Flex Frost flower, this is how soft it is. So you definitely could take it and maybe wind it up, make some small buds with it if you wanted to, but I did not color mine, so I'm not going to put it on this sign because I think I'd really need a little bit of color for that if I wanted to do that. But there is our cute little sign cookie for tonight. Do you guys like that? Let's go back out a little bit and let you take a look. So just a cute, fun sign. I'm going to put a little more greenery right there so you can see the vine just a little bit better. You know, morning glories actually climb like that. And if you want to do morning glory flowers, they actually have all these cool curlicues. So you don't have, if you're good at curlicues, you don't have to save it for just pumpkins, right? You can work it in the springtime too. Now I'm just going to put a little bit up here just for fun. I'm going to run a little over the top because tonight my icing's just right. So that's actually going to dry like that. And you'll be able to really see all that dimension. So I'm going to put some extra on here. All right, there we go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this fun cookie project tonight. Please remember that if you haven't picked up your Pirate Products Kit, it's on the website at seriouslysweetcupcakes.com. That's scrolling along the bottom of the screen. There's only a few left, so make sure you grab those up tonight. If you're coming to the retreat, then you were allowed to select a retreat option, so you can pick your box up there and save the shipping. If you're local and not coming to the retreat, there's an option for you to pick it up at the store so you can save shipping. And if you need it shipped, there's an option for shipping. Flat rate priority mail, that's on there, so you can grab the last couple of those and we'll get that finished. Classes will get posted next week for sale. One will be on the 3rd weekend in May, the intermediate advanced class. I changed the dates up a little bit. The intermediate advanced one that you'll definitely be using everything that's in the box is going to be Saturday, May 21st, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the first weekend in June, which is Saturday, June 4th at 4 p.m., we're going to have a really basic beginner level pirate class using all those same cookie cutters. So you'll get to see the cookies 2 different ways this month, which I think is going to be really fun. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're enjoying this. There's just so many different things you can do with a sign. I feel like sometimes you get pigeonholed and you worry about your handwriting and you think, oh, I can only do this if I can write or if I have good lettering. And there's so many more things that you can do using a sign cookie cutter that don't involve actually writing. So there's plenty of ways to use it and still get bang for your buck and do something fun and get to sculpt a little bit in royal icing. It's really fun once you start doing it. Now, you will notice tomorrow, thank you, Nicole, tomorrow when I post the final picture, pay attention, really close attention to this. Do you see these areas where I put in the knot holes? Tomorrow, when you look at this cookie, because I have to wait overnight for it to dry, really pay attention to the photograph of what it looks like in these knot holes and around the edges of this part of the sign, okay? Because that's the level of detail that dry dusting will add to a cookie, okay? So just something fun and fast to do tonight. And if you have any questions about the pirate kit, please message me. I am going to try to hit the hay early tonight. I have a big day tomorrow because I have to spread out my working day into 4 2-hour sections with a break in between to see if I can make it that long. So we'll see. Hopefully it's going to be a good day. But does anyone have any questions before we jump off? Thanks, Mary Jean. Oh, Jen, I'm glad you're back from the doctors. That's awesome. Hope you got some reasonably good news, or at least something in the right direction. And you guys, you notice the other thing that on this that I did by doing those different shading is I really got that cool flow of color by doing some pink, some denim blue, and then some with both colors. When I went to fill in my petals, I was using my mixed petals, which is really how it would look on a blue hydrangea. So just something fun, okay? Just something to think about when you're getting your colors together. All right. And if there's no questions, we're going to go ahead and jump off for the night. I'm going to finish up a few cookies and then I am going to get to bed early tonight so that we can stay on track and get those pirate kits out of here on time. They're so cute. And we're doing 6 designs in the classes this time. There's a ship, there's a treasure chest, there's a pirate head, there's a compass, there's did I say treasure chest? There's a map. There's just all kinds of good stuff in the pirate class this time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was really good to spend time with you tonight. And I have 2 guest visitors planned for you as soon as I can get that arranged. If you're on here and you're one of the guest visitors that I reached out to recently, the only reason I haven't contacted you is because I didn't want to schedule you and have to reschedule you if I couldn't sit in my chair long enough to do these videos. But I am actually getting a little bit better and doing my PT and doing my doctor visits and all of that. So I'm figuring out how to manage it. And as soon as I feel like I could commit to a date, then we will get back in touch with both of you to have you come on because you both have really awesome stuff to share in the group. And I can't wait to give you a featured highlight within the group. So I have not forgotten you. I just don't want to have to cancel or reschedule on anybody. So I think we're in good shape and I'll be talking to all of you soon. Grab your pirate kits and thank you for everyone who purchased early today. You made everything so easy. All right. I will catch up with you later. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye.